You love to travel. You know that the best way to do it is behind the wheel, and you're planning to rent a car. Then this video is for you. I live in Spain, but I've traveled to more than 50 countries and have rented cars in many of them. I'm going to tell you how to avoid problems when renting a car, how to save money, how to search for a car, where to book, when to book, which options to pay attention to, what to do about insurance, how to pick up the car, and how to return it, how to pay, and what documents you need for this, and a whole bunch of life hacks and tricks that will definitely help you out. I live in Spain, so first and foremost, I'll be talking about renting a car here. But in Europe, the US, and many other countries I've been to, the same tips are applicable and universal. Save this video to your playlist so you don't lose it, and can watch it again when you're getting ready for your trip. I've set myself the goal of making the most complete, most detailed guide and instruction manual on how to properly rent a car abroad. If I suddenly forgot or missed something, let me know in the comments. So first, how to search for a car and how to book it. Use aggregators. There are a lot of websites where you can compare prices for the same cars, for the same car classes, and choose the one that's cheaper and more advantageous. Besides that, aggregators offer additional services. These services are much cheaper than if you book a car directly with the rental company. Personally, I use aggregators like Auto Europe and Rent Cars, but there are plenty of them out there. You can see the list on the screen right now. After you find some good, interesting options on the aggregators, be sure to check directly with the rental company that the aggregator suggested. Yes, it might actually turn out that booking directly is, in fact, cheaper, or there might be even more options available, or perhaps some extra features that are more appealing to you than what the aggregator offers. Always check out the local rental companies. Almost every city and country has small, local companies that compete directly with the big international players, and they can often offer you the very same cars at much lower, more attractive, and competitive prices. When you're comparing prices, especially between different companies and sources, pay close attention to whether taxes are included in the price. Because many companies, in order to make it look like their price is lower, exclude taxes, especially value-added tax. And you might think, oh, you found something cheaper. But in reality, the final price will be the same as the other option or even more expensive. How can you save money when renting? First, you can play around with the dates and length of your rental. It often happens that renting a car for a week is cheaper than renting it for 6 days. Renting for a month can be cheaper than renting for 28, 29, or even 27 days. So, if you book for a longer period and return the car earlier, no one will give you a hard time, and you'll save money. Also, pay attention to the time you pick up the car, and the time by which you must return the car. For example, you pick up your car at 10 a.m. and plan to return it a week later at 10:30 a.m. These 30 minutes can be counted as an additional day. It would be better for you to set the car return time at 10 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Bring it a little earlier, but save a whole day of rent. Also, pay attention to the time when you pick up and return the car. Returning the car at night is often more expensive than during business hours. If you can plan your trip so that you return the car during business hours, it will be cheaper for you. If you've already chosen a rental company, compare prices at different pickup locations. Most of the time, picking up a car at the airport or train station is much more expensive than picking up the same car in the city. And do the math. It might actually be more cost-effective for you. It could be cheaper to just pay for a taxi to the pickup location, and you can save a lot of money this way. Also, check if you happen to have any discounts for car rentals with this company. You might be a member of a frequent flyer program, an airline, or a client of a certain bank, and you could have perks when renting a car from a particular rental company. Just in case, check if you have any of these perks. How do you check? It's very simple. Go to the terms and conditions of the company and see who is eligible for discounts from them. Often, when you book, for example, airline tickets, that airline gives you a discount code or a coupon for a discount when renting a car. The same thing happens when renting accommodation. You check into a hotel, and that hotel gives you a discount on car rentals. This discount can be significant. Here's another little life hack. Use incognito mode in your browser when searching for car rental options. This will protect you from prices on websites going up just because you're showing interest. If you use incognito mode, the prices will stay reasonable and as they were originally. When you search for a rental car, you usually have to specify which country you're from, and there's a temptation to bend the truth a little and get a lower price. For example, you can check. If you say you're from the US, the price is usually always lower than for other countries. Why is that? Because all US citizens due to a special tax regime and regulations in that country already have it. By default, they have insurance. But if you're from another country, you don't have that insurance or those tax benefits, so it's not worth putting down the wrong country. Otherwise, your contract could simply be canceled. You won't get your deposit back, and you'll have a lot of problems with your car rental overall. That's why we need to be honest here. When is the best time to book a car? It's better to do it about a month or two before your trip. That way, the prices will be reasonable and there will be a decent selection of cars. If it's high season, the tourist season, then it's better to book 3 months in advance. And most importantly, you should absolutely never, ever count on being able to successfully book a rental car upon your arrival at your destination. As a rule, you'll either be unable to rent a car on the spot at all, or you'll have a very limited selection and extremely high prices, much higher than if you had booked in advance. And here's a little life hack. Check whether the option you're booking offers free cancellation. If there is, then first of all, you can book several options and later, in a calm setting, choose the one you like best. You can also keep an eye out for any additional discounts, sales, or special prices on options that interest you. If you find a better deal, you just cancel your previous booking and reserve at the more attractive price. In another video, I talked about 8 common scams that rental companies use when renting out cars. There, I recalled stories that happened to me, some funny and some not so funny. For example, in Ireland, I got scammed out of €700 when they offered me a supposedly free car upgrade. When choosing a car, remember that you're not picking a specific model, but rather a car class. There are different classes, and different companies label them differently. I'll show the full list on the screen. Remember, the same model can belong to different classes at different rental companies. And one more thing, just because a certain car is shown in the picture doesn't mean you'll get that exact model or that exact car. It could happen that they show you a BMW, but you end up with an Opel or a Fiat. If you want a specific model, that option usually exists too, but it will be much more expensive than just booking a car class. In my other video about car rental scams, I shared a heartbreaking story that happened to me in America, where instead of the Mustang I had reserved, they tried to give me a Japanese car. When you choose a car class, pay attention to its size and body type. If you plan to drive mostly in cities, a small, nimble car that's easy to park will suit you best. But if you're heading out on the highway, it'll be much harder with a weak engine. Pay attention to how many people will be riding in the car, whether they'll have enough space, and definitely consider how much luggage you'll have, because trunk sizes vary greatly between different car classes. If you plan to drive on mountain roads, you'll need a car with a more powerful engine. And if you suddenly want to go off-road, choose accordingly. Pick a car suited for those conditions. Also, pay attention to the type of transmission. Rental companies love to set manual transmission by default. When was the last time you drove a stick shift? Do you even know how? Do you have the skills? Do you still remember them? And of course, fuel. You can choose a car with a specific type of fuel. Diesel is much more economical than gasoline. If that's an option, go for diesel. Some rental companies let you choose an electric car. It's cheaper and more economical, but outside the cities you might have trouble finding charging stations. Now, about insurance. This is usually the thing that most people renting cars get confused about, but actually it's pretty simple. Most car rental companies offer 3 types of insurance. The first is standard insurance. This insurance covers your liability to third parties. If you hit someone, their damages will be covered by the insurance company, but you'll have to pay for your own damages yourself. Then there's CDW insurance. This is like comprehensive insurance, but with limitations. Some damages will be covered by this insurance. Usually, tires, windows, bumpers, and some other things are excluded. There are a lot of restrictions that allow the insurance company to deny coverage or payment. Full insurance is called full coverage or super CDW. This is, again, like comprehensive insurance, but this time without any exclusions. No matter what you do to the car, everything will be covered by the insurance. What else should you pay attention to when choosing insurance? You can buy full coverage, or you can buy coverage with a deductible. With a deductible, it means that if your damage amounts to, say, €1,000 and your deductible is €300, then the first €300 you pay out of your own pocket, and everything else will be covered by the insurance. This kind of insurance is usually cheaper, but again, you might end up with extra costs or additional expenses along the way. Most often, if you buy insurance directly from the rental company, it will cost you more. It can be 2, 3, 4, even 5 times more expensive than if you buy insurance elsewhere. Even through an aggregator, insurance is much cheaper than buying it directly from the rental company. And remember, any insurance only covers damage up to certain limits. For example, if you, wreck something on a Lamborghini that costs €100 million, the insurance company might refuse to pay out. That's why you need to carefully read all the insurance terms. It's all written there. And of course, what I talk about elsewhere. Check out the video about scams. Make sure you watch it. Always document the condition of the car when you pick it up. Every little scratch or dent. All scuffs and dings need to be recorded in the paperwork. And you should also take photos and videos with timestamps. Record a video as well. You need to document the car not only when you pick it up, but also when you return it. So that in case the rental company tries to make any claims, you can prove with video evidence that, no guys, when I returned the car, everything was fine with it at that moment. And that scratch you're trying to blame on me was already there. Done by someone else, not me. When choosing a rental car, always pay attention to what options are available. There are a lot of options. First of all, if you want to pick up the car in one city and return it in another, you definitely need to check how much extra that will cost. Sometimes this fee is huge. It's more than the cost of the rental itself. So imagine you pick up the car in Naples and return it somewhere in Milan, and then someone from Milan has to then drive that car all the way back across the country to Naples. Of course, the rental company will charge you for all of that. You also need to check if there are any restrictions on taking the rental car to other countries. For example, you rented a car in France but want to drive to Germany. Does the rental company allow you to do that or not? And do they let you do it for free? Or do you need to specify in advance which countries you want to visit and pay for it? Is there an extra fee? There is a list of countries that most rental companies prohibit you from driving to. Be sure to check carefully whether you want to go there and if the rental company allows it. Also, pay attention to how many kilometers are included in the rate you choose for the car. Sometimes, the mileage is limited. If you're only allowed to drive up to 3,000 kilometers with this car, but you drive 4,000 kilometers, then for that extra 1,000 kilometers, you'll also be asked to pay extra, and at a price that will probably seem very unfair to you. In many countries, especially in European countries, there are toll roads. You can rent a car. It might already come with a transponder or a vignette. Different countries call it different things, meaning the tolls for those roads are already paid for. Pay attention if this option is available and calculate whether it's worth it for you or not. It's something I recommend. Most of the time, this extra equipment you can order when renting a car pays off. Most often, this means a child seat. If you're traveling with a child, you absolutely need to get one. In addition, you can order snow chains for the wheels. If you're heading to the mountains in winter, this is an option you can't go without. They won't let you on the road otherwise. There are also options to order a GPS navigator. But most of the time, the rental companies charge absolutely outrageous prices for them. It's usually cheaper to just use your own mobile phone and its navigation app. But if you decline this option and want to use your own phone, remember two things. First, your phone needs to have mobile internet, preferably unlimited and not too expensive. And second, where exactly are you going to mount your phone in the car? There aren't any built-in spots for mounting it. Keep in mind that in most countries, it's illegal for the driver to use a mobile phone while driving. So this idea of, I'll just pull out my phone and check where to go. No, that's not going to work. The last thing to pay attention to when it comes to options is the company's fuel policy. Different rental companies have different policies. They might give you a car with a full tank and expect you to return it full, or on the contrary, give it to you full but let you return it empty. But you absolutely need to check before you start your rental which option you have and how to avoid getting fined when you return the car. To meet the fuel policy requirements of the rental company, plan ahead and find a gas station near the car return location. And when you're returning the car, usually you're short on time, so you won't be frantically searching for a gas station at the last minute. You'll calmly get there, fill up to the required level, and return the car with a full tank, just as was stipulated. Documents. What documents do you need to rent a car? There are two main documents. First, you need your passport. A regular international passport, the one you use to travel to this country, is usually enough. And second, your driver's license. But here, there might be some nuances. Before you rent a car, do this in advance. Check whether your country's driver's license will be accepted at this car rental agency or not. Sometimes, certain car rental agencies do not accept your driver's license. In that case, just look for another agency and try different options. Eventually, you'll find one that agrees to rent you a car. In some countries and at certain rental agencies, so-called international driver's licenses are required. And don't forget, there are countries where foreign driver's licenses aren't recognized at all. For example, Japan. Any foreign driver's license in Japan, except for a Japanese one, is not valid. You might be able to rent a car there, and the rental agency might turn a blind eye to your strange foreign license. But on the road, you risk running into trouble as soon as you meet the first police officer. And of course, remember about the age requirements. If you're between 25 and about 60 to 65, everything is fine. There won't be any extra charges for you. The rental company won't charge you anything extra. If you're under 25, say between 21 and 25, then in some places, how much will it cost you? The rental will be more expensive. And if, God forbid, you're under 21, Then some companies, actually, I'd say most companies, just won't rent you a car at all. And yes, if you're already at an advanced age, you might run into problems as well. The rental might also be more expensive, and some rental companies even require a medical certificate proving that you're healthy and able to drive their car. How do you pay when renting a car? Rule number 1, no cash. If you try to pay cash, they simply won't give you the car. So yes, you need a card. What kind of card? A credit card, or a debit card with an overdraft option. I go into more detail about this in my video about rental scams. You can watch it, and there I really break down this point very thoroughly. What else is important to know? The card you use to pay must be in the driver's name. If you ask the friend to pay, you might run into problems when picking up the car. Don't create these kinds of problems for yourself or risk not being given the car on the spot. The process of picking up the car. First of all, don't expect that you'll show up and be driving away in your rental car in 10 minutes. The whole process can take an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours. You might end up waiting in line for 2 hours, and unfortunately, that's not uncommon either. In addition, the paperwork, inspecting the car, recording a video, and signing the handover act all take time, so keep that in mind. Second, when picking up the car. At the office, they'll definitely try to sell you extra services. That's how they make money, and don't expect you'll be able to avoid it. Even if you already have insurance, they'll try to push extra insurance on you, sometimes even scare you with something. Don't fall for it under any circumstances. They'll definitely offer you extra equipment, all sorts of options. Decide on all of this in advance, and when the rental office manager offers you something, always say no. No, I've already made my choices. I don't need anything extra. The contract they ask you to sign, I've mentioned this before. Make sure you read it carefully. Remember, your signature on that contract is the final word in any dispute or conflict with the rental company. In the end, they'll just say, there's a contract, there's a clause, and there's your signature. End of story. That's it. The argument is over. You're in the wrong. Pay the fines, the money, and so on. After signing the contract, make sure to take your own copy with you. This is also a must, so that in case of any disputes, you can refer back to it. If they don't give you a paper copy, take a photo or ask them to send you the file by email. But you should always have your own copy, the text of the contract, with you. If there's something you don't like about the car, don't forget that you can try to change the car they're offering you. It's not guaranteed that. The rental company might not accommodate you. They might insist that there are no other cars available, and this is the only one, so take it or leave it. But most of the time, there are options, there are choices. We just tend to be shy or hesitant, even if something doesn't suit us. Well, fine, we'll just take this tired, dirty, beat up, scratched car and ruin our mood for the whole trip. No, don't do that. Try your luck, take a chance, and refuse that car. Ask them to give you something else instead. Most of the time, they'll give you another car. When you receive the car, don't forget to check if the tires are inflated and see if the air conditioner works. Especially in hot countries, being without air conditioning, it'll be hell, not a trip. And of course, once everything is in order, you've signed the papers, you've gotten the car, you've sat inside. Don't rush off right away. Take your time to figure out all the buttons, all the levers, all the functions. I remember when we picked up a Mustang convertible in Los Angeles. I don't know, it probably took me about 15 minutes just to figure out how to open and close the roof. Imagine what would have happened if I tried to do that later, already on the trip. It starts raining, and I have no idea how to close the roof. And set up the GPS right then too. Set it up properly, figure out the language, select it, enter your first destination, like your hotel or a gas station, depending on where you're headed. It's also better to do this right away, not later on. Messing around with the GPS and trying to figure it out. When returning the car, make sure to document the car's condition at the moment of return. Do the same thing you did when you picked up the car. Please take comprehensive photos of absolutely everything, then meticulously record a detailed video, and promptly email it to yourself with the precise date and exact time. And finally, carefully sign the official handover report. If you're returning the car to a real person and they're accepting it from you, also make sure that no extra boxes are checked anywhere, or that any new scratches are noted. Your signature will be the final word. Before you hand over this report, take a photo of it so you don't end up in a situation where you didn't check any boxes. But later on, they add those check marks themselves. If there's no staff member on site, sometimes you have to return the car outside of business hours. At night, when no one is working, or on a holiday or weekend. Or maybe this company offers contactless car returns. Find out in advance how everything needs to be done. When returning the car, also take photos of the fuel gauge and the odometer reading. Especially if you have mileage limits, so that later, if anything comes up, you won't get any complaints. Like many instructions, this wasn't written in blood, but it was written with the money I once overpaid. So it's better to spend those 5 minutes taking photos and videos than to deal with car rental companies later. After you return from your trip, Keep all receipts related to the car. If there's any dispute, this could come in handy and serve as proof that you're right. Check out stories about the most common scams when renting cars abroad. There's a video about this on my channel, and soon I'll record another one about the specifics of driving in different countries. So keep an eye out for announcements and stay tuned to my channel. It's coming soon. And of course, enjoy every moment of your trip and every moment of your life.